execution, implementing cost management and forecasting techniques, strategies for negotiating contracts and pricing with suppliers and then contractors, effective communication and collaboration with stakeholders, and then as we move on, we are going to be looking at case studies as we proceed further. I don't know if we can see my slide.
Not yet, ma.
Okay, can we see my slide now?
Not yet, ma.
Can we see that?
You're presenting now, ma.
Okay. Can we see my slide?
Your slide is not up.
Not up yet, ma.
Okay, I will proceed.
Yeah, I think it's coming up. Yes.
Okay. First, like the first speaker has done, he has done justice to what inflation means, and then we'll be looking at briefly the key points in our topic, mitigating against the impact of inflation in construction project delivery. What is mitigation? Mitigation refers to the process of taking steps to reduce, minimize, and control the severity or consequences of an adverse situation. Impact also refers to the effect or influence that one thing has on another, and inflation, like he has earlier explained, is the continuous and general increase in prices. QSF went further also to look at the various types of inflation, stagflation, hyperinflation, and then also cost push inflation. So we can see that in general, putting together inflation on construction project delivery involves implementing strategies to minimize the negative effects of rising cost of project timelines. So the basics or the key reasons for this meeting, for this webinar, is for us as professionals to mitigate the impact of inflation on our projects. Like I will say, we cannot avoid it. It's not something that we can do without, but we can actually mitigate it. And all the ways for us to mitigate it are the things that has been earlier shared and what we are also going to be looking at now. So according to the headline inflation, Nigerian headline inflation, you saw that the inflation has actually risen to about 34.19%, the highest we've had since 1996 up till now. We can also see that it's not as inflation is not there, it is there, but we have experienced it more now due to the rising and increase in trend of things. So basically, the construction industry is not left out, whilst other sectors have seen this impact. The construction industry also, inflation also has eaten into the industry and is affecting the industry. And then today we are going to be sharing how we can work around it, how we can mitigate it. We see that for those of us that are very familiar with the trends, last year, vividly, I remember that the cost of cement was selling for around 4,500, 5,000 towards the end of the year. But as we speak now, the cost of cement and other prices of building materials have actually skyrocketed, is now on the high side. So as professionals, we have a significant role to play in this. We have a significant role to play in saying that we mitigate against the effect of inflation on our projects, to see that our projects do not overrun, to put our projects within budget for the interest of not just ourselves, but the benefit of the, the clients that we are working with. So briefly, we'll be looking at causes and effects of inflation in construction. So what are the various causes of inflation? What are the causes? We can see that change in government and government policy is one great cause of inflation on our project. We see that between last year and as we speak, the transition, the change in government has actually affected a couple of things. Has affected a couple of things. We have new rules, we have regulations, we have new taxations, a lot of things have actually come up. And then those are things that have actually affected and is inflating cost of projects. Another point to note is inaccurate estimation. As QS, we have a great work to do in this regard. Like QS Shehu said, we don't have to be lazy. We cannot afford to be lazy. We need to get our quantities right. We need to get our estimations right. We need to ensure that items are properly looked into before they are submitted or before we go into any project, because these are things, these are major causes of inflation on projects. Another point is supply chain issues. By supply chain issues, we need to know where are we getting our materials from? What is likely to happen if you are going to be working outside Lagos? Where do you get, how do you transport your material from one end to the other? We remember what happened, the Russian-Ukraine issue that happened last year, and it hasn't fizzled out, it's still ongoing. We saw that the issues of inflation, the issue of the war affected most of the prices of materials, affected most of the prices of materials. So we need to know, where are we getting our materials from? Where are we getting our equipment from? Because these can actually disrupt and affect and cause delay in project delivery. Design changes as well. Changes made to design in the middle of the project, change in scope of the project can also bring about inflation, can inflate the cost of the project. I remember one of our projects that we did that along the line, there was a change. An increase was made to the contract. At that point, when it came up, the increase actually outweighed the initial budget for the project. So we need to be able to manage changes, whatever changes that are coming along. We should have it at the back of our mind that whatever change comes up on the project will affect the project, hereby inflating the cost of the project. Another point is price fluctuation. We can see the price of steel now has actually moved high. So price inflation is another cause of inflation, another reason for inflation in construction project delivery. Issues in issuance of drawings and informations, late issuers of drawings coming late or at the inception of the project, your drawings are not properly firmed up. These are things that can easily cause inflation on a project. So as QS, as professionals in the construction industry, we need to put our hands on deck. We need to be on task on this. Then shortage of materials, labor, and equipment. We need to ensure that wherever our construction will be carried out, we need to do our studies. We need to carry out proper feasibility studies in the locality. What is happening here? Can we easily source material? Can we easily source labor? Can we easily access equipment? Because if all of these are not in place, if you're going to be bringing labors, you're going to be importing labors from elsewhere to your construction site, it can actually inflate the cost of your project. And also mistakes during construction is another huge cause of inflation on our project. Mistakes as a result of setting out, mistakes with wrong interpretation of drawings, we need to check all of this. Quickly, we'll be looking at the effect of inflation in construction. What are the effects? What are we likely to experience when inflation sets in on our projects? One of the things that we can likely experience is project abandonment. We see today a lot of projects cannot be completed due to the current rate of prices of materials. So many clients have actually had to put their project on hold. There's a project that we are actually working on now that we cannot actually progress because there is shortage of fund. So one of the effects of inflation is it can lead to project abandonment, a situation whereby you cannot proceed with the work. Another effect is delay in construction delivery. The estimated period budgeted or programmed for that project can shift. Changes in the scope of the work as well. When the size, it can bring about change in scope of the work. A client that has planned to do 4 or 5-story building, and at the end of the day, he cannot finance it because of inflation. This can bring about reduction in the scope of the work. And we can also have a situation of dispute between stakeholders. When prices fluctuate and then the client cannot accommodate it, or the client is not properly informed about this issue, it can bring about disputes. It can also make the project overrun, can bring about another effect is cost overrun. The deviation from the original project costs. That is it. You have the project, the estimated cost of the project being lower than the actual expenses incurred. So that is another major effect of inflation on our project. And as professionals, we need to be able to look and tackle all of this. We have decrease in the quality of work. A contractor might want to compromise quality so that he can make his profit. A contractor might want to, yes, compromise the quality of his work to maintain his profit margin. And then we have the issues of unnecessary claims. Another effect of inflation can bring about unnecessary claims on the project, and also reduction in contractors' profits. For contractors and suppliers, price fluctuation can affect their profit margin. If the cost increases significantly and cannot be passed to the client, he may want to reduce his profit. He may want to reduce the profit for you to be able to accommodate the job, to complete the job. So next is, how do we assess and manage inflation-related risk? How do we assess it? How do we manage it? Because as quantity surveyors, as professionals, all of these, we need to be informed. We need to look at all of these strategies to help us prepare, to help us factor in, and then to help us accommodate whatever it is that is coming as a result of inflation, so that our project can end within the stipulated budget. So one of the things that we have to look at is material cost trend. How do you assess it? You have to monitor prices of key construction materials. And what are those materials that we need to monitor? We need to monitor the price of steel, monitor the cement, monitor every other materials. We need to monitor them, because a rapid increase in these prices can significantly impact our project cost. So we need to be able to assess it. We need to be able to monitor the prices of our building materials. And how do we go about that? We need to be informed. Get suppliers, get journals, the newsletters that we have. These are things that can help you monitor trends of how the prices of materials are going. Another way also is labor cost and availability. You need to assess local and regional labor market conditions. We need to know what is happening. Currently, like the first speaker has said, the issue of the minimum wage are things that we need to consider greatly we need to look at how all of this will affect the cost of our project. Also, we need to look at supply chain analysis, evaluate the robustness of supply chain for materials and equipment, because disruption can lead to cost increase and project delays. We need to look at our supply chains. Where are we getting our materials from? Where are we bringing all of this equipment from? We need to look at it properly. Then we look at vendor agreements. We need to be able to enter into a long-term agreement with our vendors to be able to secure prices. Those are ways for us to be able to assess the inflation-related risks, and then budget for contingency. Like the first speaker said, you need to include contingency budget in your costs. You need to allow for it in our costs. Next is we'll be looking at ways to manage inflation-related risk. How do we manage it? Because like we said earlier, it is there. The only way we can work around it is to manage it. We cannot completely take it out, but we can manage it. So one of the ways that we can manage inflation-related risk is to fix price our contract. Now, for you to be able to fix price your contract, you should be able to make available fund to your vendors in good time to be able to secure and lock up your prices. For us, we've been able to work with clients that give reasonable advance. So once we get this advance, all we do is we lock our prices. We buy all of the materials that we need to buy. And as professionals, we can work with contractors in the sense that we can get them to bring out a list, like Shewu mentioned earlier, presenting a list of materials that the advance payment will be used for. What do you plan to use this advance payment for? So you can only lock, and then you see to it that the funds that are released, those advance items are procured. So by so doing, you will be able to manage the impact of inflation on your project. Another way is also to include escalation clauses in your contracts. When we tender, when we send in our quotation, we always include these clauses. This is the prevailing market exchange rate that this contract was priced with, such that if there is a change, we can actually work out something based on the existing and the prevailing market exchange rate. Another way is also to diversify. One of the ways to manage is to diversify, and that is one thing we have been able to do from our own end. We don't work with one vendor. You need to have several vendors, have several suppliers. So once you have several suppliers, at least you'll be able to get good prices from all of these vendors. The next slide is efficient procurement. Another way to manage inflation-related risk is to engage in bulk purchase. And aside bulk purchase also, when you bulk purchase, you can actually get reasonable discounts from your suppliers when you bulk purchase. When you also buy from the source, yes, we are big contractors. What we do, we don't buy in bags, we buy in jumbo bags. So when you bulk purchase, when you buy these materials in large quantity, you can manage the risk of inflation on your project. You buy them in good time, you buy all of your lead items, long lead items, you buy them in good time. Then you can manage the risk of inflation on your project. Then risk transfer, getting appropriate insurances policy on your project. Consider getting insurance covers on your project. Take for example, sometime last year we had one of our equipment destroy one of the MEP subcontractors' AC outdoor unit. When the price came, it was actually something close to 10 million naira. But we were able to cover for these from the insurance that we have in place. We refer back to our insurance company. We didn't have to go transfer the risk on the project. That risk was actually transferred to the insurance company, and that was properly taken care of. Another way also to manage inflation-related risk is engage in stakeholders communication, properly communicate with other stakeholders, the architect, the structurer, even the client, and the team that you're working with on site. You need to keep them informed about inflation-related risk and how to manage it, how to measure and ensure that it is properly managed on site. And then you have to monitor your costs. For every budget that is set for a particular item of work, you need to manage, you need to monitor it to ensure that you stay within your budget. Next is we'll be looking at implementing cost management and forecasting techniques. These aspects, QS dealt with it extensively as well. So what are the various cost management techniques we need to look at? Cost estimation, you carry out detailed cost estimation before the project is executed. You have to do your budget, get your budget right. You need to get your plans right from get-go. And then you need to monitor your budget. You need to monitor the expenses to ensure that you stay within your budget. And then also develop strong relationship with vendors and negotiate favorable terms and discounts. You need to make sure that you have a relationship with all of your vendors. You get information from them in good time. Next is how to forecast, the various forecasting techniques that we have. We have the historical data analysis. You can use past financial data to predict future performance. And then you can also work with software tools for detailed cost tracking and forecasting. Use of the MS project, use of the Primavera. Those tools can help you track and forecast the trend of how the budget is going. Now, what are the strategies for negotiating contracts and pricing with suppliers and contractors? There are various strategies that can be adopted, but I have streamlined this to preparation and planning. You need to prepare for it, because when you cannot afford to bring any price up and then you expect that it to be adopted. So you need to do proper market research current market trends for goods and services. You need to do proper research, and then you need to define your objective, clearly define your budget. You clearly define it. What are we going for? What are we doing? You clearly define your budget, and then you prepare data and documents. You get past contracts and pricing data for references. You can use all of these strategies to negotiate contracts. Take, for instance, we have a ceiling work that was done sometime last month, and then, okay, we want to embark on this same aspect of work this month. We need to be able to track all of these things. And then the negotiation tactics is you build a relationship with your suppliers. When you build proper relationship with your suppliers, that will bring about open communication between you two. You have to develop a proper rapport with suppliers to build trust and then facilitate open communication. You have to negotiate prices. As a quantity surveyor, one of our skill is to be able to negotiate prices. We need to be able to negotiate prices, negotiate discounts, because these discounts are available. But if they are not mentioned, the suppliers, your vendors will not talk about it. So you need to be able to negotiate discounts for bulk purchasing. And then you have to include clauses in your contract for price adjustments. So what are the effective communication and collaboration techniques that we have? Various strategies that we can approach. You identify your stakeholders, you develop a communication plan with them, And then be an active listener, like QSH mentioned earlier. You need to be an active, develop an active listening skills. Also need to be transparent and honest. Transparency and honesty comes to play for us to be able to mitigate the impact of inflation on our projects. And then you have to engage collaboration strategies, establish clear roles and responsibilities, set common goals, and have effective meetings to discuss. Lastly, we have to look at the conclusion because our time is fast and spent. And then we said mitigating the impact of inflation on construction project delivery requires a proactive and strategic approach. As quantity surveyors, we have to incorporate early cost estimation, establish robust procurement strategies, and maintain clear and feasible contractual agreements between all stakeholders. When all of these is put in place, we can then and we can see that our projects are handed over within the reasonable budget that we have. So on this point, I want to say a very big thank you to the YQSF for the opportunity. I want to say a big thank you, and I hope to get feedbacks and answers from us. Thank you, QS Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ma. We really appreciate the knowledge you just impacted on us. You can stop sharing your screen now. I don't know if anybody has a question before we do a summary of what we just learned now.
So while we are waiting for questions, I would like to recognize our chairman. I was looking forward to seeing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, please kindly mute your mic, please. So I would like to recognize our chairman, a person of QS, Olanrewaju Farotimi. He has been on the call. However, I was looking forward to seeing Olanrewaju. I never knew he just came in as humble as he is. Just came in with his name, Larry Farotimi. So, sir, the chairman in here, QS Olanrewaju Farotimi, FNI QS, the current chairman of the NIQS Lagos State chapter. Kindly unmute your mic, sir, as we would like to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Thank you, everyone on this call for making our time to be part of this. I want to appreciate particular our resource persons, QS Shehu Abdul Kabir and QS Elizabeth, for a job well done. I've listened in and I've gained a lot, and I believe so for every of our members that are on this call. So thank you, YQSF, for doing a good job. I want to encourage you to keep it up, and that we'll continue to give you all the necessary support for professional development courses. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, QS Olanrewaju Farotimi, FNI QS. Thank you so much for always accommodating us. And without you, we wouldn't be doing this. Also, like I said earlier, we have so many senior colleagues on the call, and we've rightly recognized some. And at the same time, I would like to apologize in advance if perhaps I omit your name, but I would like to recognize QS Adeyera Bola. Thank you so much for your support at all times. We really appreciate your presence. Also, I'd like to appreciate QS Stanley Oji. he has been in and out of the call for a while now. I think he has been so busy. Speaking from the perspective of his having to have looked into his schedule once or twice. Also, once again, I'd like to recognize QS Ayuba Akiri, FNI QS, the past one of our past chairman of Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors Lagos State chapter. Also, once again, QS Bamidele Mafmi Diwo, the FNI QS, and current vice president of Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. Um, Also, I would like to recognize. Okay, so I would like everybody to give a round of applause to everyone. If you're on the call, just drop an emoji of a round of applause. Clap yourself. It's been a wonderful session, and it's been a wonderful session, and we've gained a lot. And a lot of people have been coming into my DM asking for the slides, and I've received messages of how impactful both sessions have been, and I've also received some questions, but I wouldn't want to cross some lines. So all questions should be directed to the YQSF mail, and also in case you cannot access the mail, you can direct any questions to any YQSF Lagos State Chapter executive. You rightly forward your questions to the speakers, and answers would definitely get to you in less than 48 hours. You would bear with me as we won't be able to take any more questions because of our time. Um, so closing out now, would like would like QS Stanley Hodgie. Yes, spotted. Would like QS Stanley Hodgie to please give us a closing remark, and also appreciate our speakers that have been here. Thank you so much, QS Stanley Hodgie.
Good afternoon, everyone. And you just caught me unaware. I was thinking whether I'm only coming here to come and witness and join my other colleagues in the section. But since you have called me up here, I want to say thank you so much to the YQSF Lagos chapter for this wonderful event, and to the chairman of the chapter, our vice president, Yes Mafimido, and every other person that senior colleagues, fellows, members of the institute that have been here. Thank you, because without you, this YQSS event won't be this successful. When I look at the call, we have close to 200 participants in this call, which is very, very encouraging. And I believe today we have come to learn a lot from our various speakers, starting from our Prof. QS Abdul Kadri Shehu. He's my boss because we have been doing a lot in the Professional Development Committee. And they have been challenging us that we do a lot of our YQSF program without CPD. So he said we need to start getting those CPDs. So today program we have started with the 4-point CPDs, courtesy of the committee. So please, I will encourage all those that have participated in today's event, make it a point to, I know the chapter might have scenarios of how they want to collect your names and a token you can pay to get your CPD point from the Institute portal. So please try to utilize that opportunities. Is very much appreciated, and possibly going forward, all other of our events, we have some CPD point to also come. And also to thank so much QS Elizabeth Oshibote. Before I
Oshibote.
sorry, apologies for that in advance. Thank you for enlightening us and being practical enough, because most things you're saying is from your practical experience as quantity surveyor in Kappa and the battle and every other experience you have been facing. And to all the participants for staying over 2 hours plus, I think almost 3 hours for this section, we say thank you so much for listening to us and for gaining a lot of knowledge. Now you have been imparted, so go there, fight inflation, advise your client on the best way to mitigate this inflation process, It's something we have to do it on all our projects, but project cannot stop. Projects cannot be hold because of this inflation. So let's just advise them on ways to mitigate it, ways to make the inflation not to have so much impact on the project. And at the project, we all will have a project we'll all be proud of and will all be recognized as quantity surveyors. We don't want to be seen abandoned projects. We want project that will be completed and see it as a landmark project for us to always celebrate. Thank you so much to Adeomi and Faith for that moderation. It was superb. And thank you to the chapters and to everybody. We say, may God continue to bless you and more grace and more opportunities. And we look forward to you participating in our futures events from both the YQSF Lagos chapter and also the national event. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, dear Stanley. It's called Flagship Chapter for a reason. I will keep keeping the flag up and steady. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining. We'll be having our next. We're having another webinar next month, August. Last week in August, last Saturday in August. You know how we do it, and this time around we'll be coming with another topic that interests us and that speaks to the current situation of the economy. And also would like everyone to participate. And we're looking forward to seeing everyone, just this number and even much more. Also, I would like to, in extension, remind us of our monthly quarterly general meeting, which is meant to come up. I'm coming. Just quickly want to check the date now. Okay, our quarterly general meeting, which is meant to come up on the 18th of August at Dura Hall, CMD Road, Shangisha, Lagos. That's where we're always having it. And also need to mention that the MRC classes have begun. Kindly, if you're yet to register and you know you are meant to register, please kindly register and start attending your classes. And pay close attention to your lectures. All right, so thank you very much, guys. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to all fellows in the house. Thank you to all senior colleagues in the house. Thank you to all graduates, to all probationers, to all of my colleagues, and most especially, thank you to all YKSF Executive Lagos State Chapter. It was really, really tough pulling this, and you all did so well. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. So right about now, we are safe to call it a day, and you can now begin to exit the platform. You feel free to unmute yourself and say something going out if you want to. Thank you so much.
Please, can we have your contact, please?
Okay, I'll drop my contact in the chat box. I'll drop my WhatsApp number in the chat box.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a good one.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I've seen it. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lagos chapters of the NIQs. Thank you, the chairman. Thank you, the coordinators for the Young Quantity Surveyors Forum. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much. God bless you.